into the 411 for your fantasy football with your host, Autumn Wind Williams.
What's going on, everybody? This is Autumn Wind Williams, and you're now listening and watching the 411 podcast. Wherever you stream your podcast, in your pocket or on YouTube. So don't forget to like, subscribe, comment below, share, hit the bell icon, leave a rate and review, all of that good stuff that just help the channel grows more and helps me make more videos, because if you're doing your job, then I'm definitely going to do mine. Now we're in week 3 of the preseason for 2021 in the NFL DFS. For Fanduel, Draftkings, it's heating up. I'm noticing that Yahoo is also opening up some DFS. And check your emails if you already got a Yahoo subscription for DFS, because they do got some offers. I'll leave a link in the description if you're not signed up on Yahoo, so you can take advantage. I believe it's $10 to allow you to play with. Once you enroll, you get that free YSRP. So yeah, you can make some bread off of just signing up on Yahoo DFS. But we are talking Draftkings and Fanduel right now for week 3 of the preseason. We got some of these teams saying the starters are going to be playing. I still doubt if they're going to play that much, because this is like the week 4 of previous preseasons, but now it's condensed down to 3 weeks. It's a longer regular season. Now it's a 17-week schedule. They're not going to be having these guys out there for a meaningless game. It's only meaningful for guys that's in position to being dropped from the team, waived, put on a practice squad, or say they're pretty much on a hot seat. And some of these guys, this is their very last chance to even showcase themselves for another team to pick them up. So that's where it becomes meaningful with those type of players. But your star players, they can say all that coach speak. We saw last week, the Chiefs played longer than I expected. But I don't expect every last team to have their starters out there. I'm not expecting to see the Dalvin Cook, Christian McCaffrey. I don't think Tyreek Hill is going to be out there, even though he's talking about he's going to play a starter. So I don't think he's going to be doing that. Nah, Andy Reid, he's not that stupid. He don't want nobody to suffer an injury on the 3rd week of the preseason and not even be able to get in the regular season. That's not a good look. But it is what it is. They're going to do what they got to do. Anyway, I'm here to break down guys I'm playing the quarterback position, running back, wide receiver, tight end, and defense. Starting off with quarterback. He struggled the last week versus the Colts, but I think the Vikings will have him start. I'm talking about Kellen Mond. I think he's going to be starting with the ones if they do start. And he's going to get a longer stretch so they can see what he got. Like I said, Andy Reid once again said the Chiefs are going to be playing their starters, so that's something I got to stay mindful to. If Kellen Mond's going to be thrown out there against starters, I might have to back off on that. So I'm going to be just checking Twitter, that last hour, last 30 minutes, see what these beat reporters are saying, because defense first is a rookie. That's really a big challenge for him. And with that being said, just in case Patrick Mahomes does not play as much as Andy Reid is saying his coach speak, it makes sense to me to put in Shane Buechele. Chad Henne, who I doubt is going to be in the game that long because he's already got the backup spot behind Patrick Mahomes. Anthony Gordon was waived earlier this week. Shane Buechele, he'll get a decent opportunity to prove himself in the games. So that's what I'm considering putting him in some of my lineups. The other one, I'm going back to the well, didn't do that great last week. I'm talking about Sam Ehlinger. They got Jacob Eason already named the starter for this preseason finale. And there isn't any reason for a Wentz backup, Brett Hundley, to play against a bad Detroit Lions defense. So that leaves a mobile quarterback, Sam Ehlinger, getting the majority of the second half work versus a barely practice squad worthy of players. I'm talking about the Detroit Lions. I told you I'm going to be attacking them on offense and defense all this season. Going down to running back, though, I'm looking at A.J. Ross Jr. He didn't play good as he did in his first preseason game, but the Vikings offense really was bad last week overall. However, looking at how he and Amir Abdullah had the equal amount of carries, I think there is some possibilities in this finale right here. Amir may get a little bit of playing time, but I think the Vikings is going to give this rookie more opportunity. Like I said, I don't think Dalvin Cook is going to be playing. Alexander Madison, he's fighting injuries. And Judge Ito just signed this week after being waived from the Arizona Cardinals. So on Friday, I'm expecting him to be out there competing for that number 5 spot, especially since Judge Ito just came aboard. They're going to be in a battle for that number 5. Next running back I have is Derrick Gore. I see similar opportunities for the Chiefs rookie running back, Derrick Gore, to be out there on the field a little bit more this game. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, he got a minor injury last week, an ankle. Darrell Williams, he was concussed. Jerick McKinnon and Darwin Thompson, I'm sure they will get some playing time, but the second half, I believe Derrick Gore will be showcased heavily. Kenneth Gainwell, my next running back, got to show what he can do for a decent amount last week in the backfield and as well as receiving. He caught all 3 of his targets and rushed for 44 yards. I can see Boston Scott out there getting touches, but Kenneth Gainwell being lower on the depth chart, at least for now, he's going to be getting a lot of opportunity in this game. Moving on to wide receiver, I got Terence Marshall Jr. from the Carolina Panthers. He's still fighting for that number 3 spot on the Panthers roster, which I'm sure he's going to get over David Moore. Not saying David Moore is a bad receiver, but Terence Marshall Jr. caught all 3 of his targets last week for 50 yards. In the first preseason game, he caught 3 out of his 5 targets for 88 yards. All I'm seeing is consistency when I review the Panthers training camp reports, and the only thing missing is touchdowns. Can he do that? That's what I want to see him do Friday. Next wide receiver I have is Quez Watkins from the Philadelphia Eagles, and I'm just going to give him a pass for last week when he missed his only target versus Bill Belichick and the Patriots with no Jalen Hurts on the field. In the first game, he caught 1 pass for 79 yards and got a touchdown. He's been consistent in training camp, and the dude got some speed. So Friday, he's going to have to impress. If he wants to be a starter this year, being a standout in practice is good, but you have to show your worth in the game when that clock starts. Next wide receiver I have from the Kansas City Chiefs, Byron Pringle. Another guy who had a great offseason and is expected to be a starter for the Chiefs last week. He got 4 of his 5 targets for 63 yards. So I'm hoping we can see on Friday similar stats with at least a touchdown for a decent amount of fantasy points. Moving to tight end, another Chief right here, Noah Gray. I went with him the last Chiefs game too. First time playing him after I saw all the praises all on Twitter and YouTube. Like I said, he's another Chief I would like to see get a touchdown. A rookie tight end. Caught all 3 of his targets last week, but only for 22 yards. You know, that bare minimum tight end stat that we see on the weekly. So I'm praying all this hype on him is not false advertisement, and he can go out there and get me a touchdown to boost up the fantasy points in my lineup. The next tight end I have, I was messing up his name. I butchered it so bad, you would have thought I was Leatherface on Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I'm talking about Pat Freiermuth. I got it right now, guys. It's Freiermuth. He made sure I remember his name because he went out there and got 2 touchdowns on 3 targets. You know, he only got 19 yards, but 2 touchdowns from Slim Ben Roethlisberger in a preseason game. That's pretty good. So I think he's going to be relied on a lot more. And he's bringing a challenge to Eric Ebron when it comes to regular season. You're going to have Eric Ebron on his toes, or else this guy right here, Pat Fryermuth, may be taking his role. The rest of the tight ends, it's a dart throw. I mean, if you plan a certain quarterback, you might want to stack that tight end with them. That's the only thing I can think of as far as getting different with the tight end. As far as defenses, it's 3 defenses I'm mainly looking at, and that's the Indianapolis Colts, the Carolina Panthers, and the Eagles, especially because looking at the training camp reports, you know, they had the scrimmage game against the Jets the past 3 training camps, and they beat them. Defensive line was destroying the Jets' offensive line. So I'm really encouraged to play in the Eagles. I never thought I would say that again, but I'm encouraged to play in the Eagles' defense more heavily than any other defense that I play on this Friday game slate. So that's what I got for you guys. I'll probably make a little vid for Saturday, Sunday. I don't know. It all depends. Gotta have family time too and other things going on. But chat with y'all later. Make sure y'all get out there and make a lot of bread. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment below, share, click the bell icon, leave a rate and review on the podcast. This is Otto Wynn Williams for the 411 podcast, and I am out. Peace.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the 411 podcast. Now get ready to make that money. And don't forget to follow us on Twitter at the 411 DFS.